Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Hector and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Hector's ability to understand and respond to intermediate obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That allows his left hand to give the correction, and the only correction that we give is a tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Hector's going to come home with his own training collar. You're going to be taught how to use that properly and how to take it on and take it off effectively. Now, Hector's sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And we knew the minute that we put a leash on Hector that he had had training before, because none of these commands were unfamiliar to him. We wanted to put them in a video so that you can see exactly the hand and voice commands that we use. And the first exercise that they're going to be demonstrating for us is heel. Heel is proper walking on a leash, and in the future when you're walking him, the command is Hector, heel.
Hector, heel.
Now at this point, Hector has a job to do, and that is to stay even with your left leg when you're walking with him. He should not be taking the lead and pulling you down the street. He should be walking nicely next to you with your hand low on your leash so that he can feel that you are in charge. If you notice, Rich turns and it makes him focus, it makes him pay attention so that he's not getting bored on walks and just doing his own thing, but staying right with you, which is a little bit more challenging. And then when you stop, he sits automatically without being told to wait for his next command. And he's doing a great job of demonstrating this, and you can even see him looking up at Rich because he likes that praise that he gets from being a good boy.
Stay.
Now the stay command is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. Now Hector knew to sit and stay, but he didn't know to stay for very long, and we're still working on lengthening out the amount of time that he can hold those sit stays, and you should practice that at home as well. Should work up to about 3 minutes. When Rich returns back to him, he walks all the way around him, and Hector must remain seated.
No, Hector, heel.
Now he didn't remain seated, so
Stay.
Rich is going to leave him in another sit stay or down stay. And when he returns back to Hector, he should remain lying there until Rich gets back to heel, which is back to the shoulders, and then he gives him another command. So make sure that you're not letting him cut the exercises short, and that you're practicing with him every day on these things, because this keeps you the pack leader. And we can't change his temperament, but we can change the pack status.
Stay.
Now Rich leaves him again in a sit stay. And again, self-control is what we're looking for, and maturity. He's an old enough dog to be able to do all of these commands and stay focused. And I think that that's his biggest problem, that he doesn't have focus, and he hasn't been taught to have focus. He just does he thinks for himself is exactly what he does. And that includes when you're having people over, which Rich will talk to you about when he sees you tomorrow. Now this time, Rich is going to leave him in a sit stay, and we're going to demonstrate the come on command. This is a very important exercise. He's going to use his name, he's going to lighten his tone of voice, and he's going to call him in.
Hector, come. Sit.
And he should come right in front and sit. No jumping, but always being right there with you.
Hector, heel.
And I think with everyone in the family, all the adults in the family, working with him and letting him know that he doesn't need to be in charge, he doesn't need to be the protector, that you're going to do very well at home.
Stay.
Now Rich is going to demonstrate that come on command again.
Hector, come.
calls him in. Hector comes right in front and sits, and you can see how focused he is. He's enjoying working. He's enjoying the praise and the attention that he's getting.
Good boy. Hector, heel.
He goes back to healing. One thing about very smart dogs is they have to have stimulation, not necessarily with a bunch of people, one-on-one like this, where he's had a chance to focus, to perform for you. Those things are very important. Now, the next command that we're going to be demonstrating is the down from a heel position. So with the dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground,
Down.
and give the one-word command to down and stay. And again, you want to lengthen out the time and the distance on this. Practice right in your house. Leave the leash on him. You can drop the leash and walk away, but he should stay for upwards of 5 minutes. When Rich returns back to him on this command, he walks all the way around him, just as you saw him do before. It's an additional distraction, especially for a dog who isn't trusting of people, to allow them to walk behind him. That's very important. He looks like he's smiling. He's having a good time. Rich is going to demonstrate that down from a heel position again.
Stay.
And we know someone has worked very hard with this dog as before we did. And we've been working very hard with him as well. This time Rich will call him out of that.
Hector, come.
But you notice how long he's laying there in a comfortable position without moving, and you want to keep that up. Now the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is your down from a distance. And you're going to see that these little obedience exercises tire him, and you're going to have a much more stable, relaxed dog if you challenge him to think and you work with him. Your video is going to be all of about 8 minutes long. Put it on your computer and work along with it. Rich is going to drop him into a down from a distance.
Stay.
It was almost a perfect video. So we have demonstrated for you all of the formal on-leash obedience commands. Hector did them without a hitch. He's a really, really smart dog, which is part of his problem. And we've totally enjoyed having him. He's been a little challenging at times, but again, we've enjoyed every minute of him. Please keep us posted, and if you need help, let us know. And thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.